This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
Time right now is 4:27 here on your Thursday morning. We want to thank you for starting your day with us here at RTV6. I'm Lauren Casey.
And I'm Meredith Barrick. We begin with an overnight crash that has now damaged a building at the corner of 16th and Delaware.
Yes, the car went into this historic building and damaged the vehicle, damaged the car. You know, this is the area on the near north side of town where it kind of jogs over as you're driving in that area. We don't know what the cause of the crash is or why this vehicle ran into the building, but we do know that the driver, a male, was seriously injured, taken to the hospital, and they're still working to investigate this and also assess the damage to that building. So we're going to keep you updated as we learn more about this.
And as you can see, that man's car was damaged pretty severely. So we'll be looking to learn more about that later this morning.
Another story we are following, this is one that RTV6 has been on top of from the very beginning. You remember that I-70 mobile home park and the owners, they're looking to sell the land after not being able to afford some repairs they need to do in the area. Well, a lot of those homes are not mobile, if you will, and people own these homes, and so they don't know what to do.
Yeah, so these people were told to pack up and move out. Well, the Attorney General is now getting involved. He is filing a lawsuit against the owners of that mobile home park. We have many more details to this story. This impacts dozens and dozens of families who say, you can't just tell us we need to get out and go. We have nowhere to go. So this will be interesting to see what unfolds here. And our Kelsey Anderson has been working hard on this morning to gather all those details.
Yep, we do want to bring in Melissa Donovan right now and talk about our forecast. It's been a beautiful fall-like week here in central Indiana. Listen, I know changes are on the way.
Yeah, they're coming, and we're going to see some of those changes this morning. We had beautiful weather yesterday, beautiful weather the day before. Today, we're going to see a little bit more cloud coverage throughout your Thursday. We're also starting with some patchy fog developing across the area. One thing you'll notice, though, is for your Thursday morning commute, along with that patchy fog, those temperatures not quite as cool as we started yesterday. We're starting in the 50s this morning. That's because we have that cloud coverage. We had it overnight, so we didn't cool down quite as much as we did yesterday morning. Today, partly sunny skies throughout the day, 79 degrees for the high. Likely some of those spots will hit 80 to the south of us, so we are going to be quite a bit above average. Usually we're in the upper 60s by now, so another day above average, but we are dropping as we head through the 7-day forecast. We also have the potential of showers and thunderstorms on the way for Friday.
Okay, good, Alyssa. Thank you so much. Finally, we have an exclusive interview here at RTV6. The father accused of abandoning his adopted daughter in Lafayette, then taking off for Canada, is speaking to our Rafael Sanchez. He is telling his side of the story.
This story plus your news, weather, and traffic coming up right here on Good Morning Indiana.
This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
Coming up on Good Morning Indiana, one person is in the hospital after a car crashed into a historic building. The damage done to the downtown structure.
A former Marion County deputy prosecutor has been arrested. What we know about the domestic battery charge he is facing.
And new video released after firefighters and police officers rescued 3 people from a burning apartment. What they say about their heroic efforts. It is 4:30 here on your Thursday morning. Thanks for starting the day with us. I'm Meredith Barrick.
And I'm Lauren Casey, and we want to get right to your forecast today because things have been changing really the past 2 weeks or so, and I never really know what to expect when I wake up other than from what Alyssa tells me. So what can you tell us this morning?
It's been a roller coaster of weather the past couple weeks. We were in the 90s last week. Most of this week has been beautiful, but those changes are coming, and we are starting to see some of those changes this morning. One thing you'll notice is it's not quite as chilly as it was yesterday morning. Crawfordsville at 48, that's going to be our cool spot once again today, but 57 degrees in Indianapolis. Keep in mind, yesterday morning we were about 10 degrees cooler, so it's not going to feel as chilly as you step outside today. We do have a bit of moisture in the air right now. We are seeing that visibility down because we are seeing some patchy fog developing, mainly in areas along rivers and valleys. We're down to just a quarter mile of visibility right now in Indianapolis. Expect that to continue until about sunrise. Then we'll start to see that dissipate dissipate. What's happening next is we have that cold front that's going to move through tomorrow morning. Ahead of it, though, we are seeing a little bit more cloud coverage today. That's starting to make its way into the Midwest. That will bring us the potential for showers and storms for Friday. Most of the activity will likely be tomorrow afternoon, but we could see some stray showers tomorrow morning as well. Today, mostly cloudy skies throughout the day. Temperatures starting in the 50s, climbing into the 70s this afternoon.
All right, Alyssa, thanks so much. We are keeping a close eye on traffic this morning, and everything's moving along up to speed here on the northwest side, I-65 and 38th Street. You can see it's very quiet at this early hour. We'll continue to monitor that spot and keep you updated. Let's head a little bit farther south. This is I-70 near the airport ramps, a little west of FedEx. Now, you can see that fog, the reduced visibility that Alyssa was talking about, so use the low beam headlights. We'll keep an eye on your visibilities for your morning commute and keep you updated this morning.
We now go to breaking news this morning. A historic building is damaged after a car crashed into it this morning. Officers and firefighters were called to the building at 16th and Delaware Street around 2:30 this morning. The crash created a hole in the brick structure and left the car badly damaged. A 26-year-old man was taken to the hospital with serious injuries. The cause of the crash is unknown at this time.
At 4:32, former Marion County Deputy Prosecutor here, Jeremy Johnson, has been arrested, and he's facing domestic battery charges this morning. Now, he was formally charged with criminal confinement with moderate bodily injury, strangulation, domestic battery committed in the presence of a child less than 16, and domestic battery. According to Mikkel Leffler, a spokesperson for the prosecutor's office, Johnson resigned before he was arrested on Wednesday. A special prosecutor has been appointed to this case. Johnson's initial hearing is scheduled for later this morning.
A fifth Hoosier has died following a small plane crash near a Michigan airport. The 48-year-old pilot, Joel Bevins of Franklin, was one of 6 people on the plane leaving from the Indy South Greenwood Airport last week. He died from his injuries on Sunday. The National Transportation Board released a preliminary report on the crash, saying the plane had no history of unresolved airworthiness issues, but it did note that the plane was about 120 pounds over the maximum landing weight when it crashed.
At 4:33, authorities in Illinois have discovered more fetal remains that were kept by an Indiana abortion doctor. This is in addition to the more than 2,000 fetal remains discovered at the Illinois home of Dr. Ulrich Klopfer, who died in September. Yesterday, investigators found the remains in a car parked in a lot in the suburbs of Chicago. The sheriff's office in Will County says that Klopfer owned 8 vehicles, and in the trunk of one, they found fewer than 100 remains kept in a box. Klopfer performed abortions at Indiana clinics located in Fort Wayne, Gary, and South Bend. Those remains found last month have been returned to Indiana for investigation under Attorney General Curtis Hill.
A newly released 911 call sheds light on the scary moments. A woman called police to report an apartment building on fire.
Is everyone out of the building?
No, they're coming out a window. There's kids. They can't get down. The mom's inside. There's like, you need to hurry, please.
Police released body camera video from Tuesday morning's fire at Cumberland Manor Apartments. 3 IMPD officers and a Cumberland police officer kicked in the door of one apartment and saved a couple and their 7-year-old boy.
First thing that we saw that I remember is a little boy laying on the couch there in the front room, obviously sleeping. They had no idea what was going on.
It wasn't even just about us being police officers, firefighters being firefighters. It's people coming together as people. And, I even saw, neighbors comforting neighbors.
A 40-year-old woman who lived in the apartment where the fire started was taken to the hospital in critical condition.
At 4:35, a couple seeing results after reaching out to RTV6 for help. Now, they moved to from Indianapolis to Florida last week for a job at Disney World. But this morning, everything they own is still right here in Indiana. RTV6's Cameron Riddle went to work pushing for their moving company for answers.
We've been sitting here since Saturday at 10:30 in lawn chairs on an air mattress, no furniture.
Last month, Brandon and Randy Johnson got the call of their dreams. Job offers to work in Florida. Randy, a social worker, Brandon, a bus mechanic at Disney World. The longtime Perry Township couple packed their belongings, put their house up for sale, and found a place to live in Winter Haven, Florida. But the near-perfect move turned sour after learning the truck carrying everything they own is still parked in Indianapolis.
They keep telling us more than once, being rude, well, if there was anything personal or valuable, you should have took it with you. My whole house is personal and valuable, and they have all of it.
The Johnsons say they were assured their belongings would arrive in Florida on the 5th at the earliest, way before Brandon starts his new job on the 12th. But tonight, their most important item, this big green toolbox holding all of Brandon's tools, is still sitting in a parking lot nearly 1,000 miles away.
I have to have my box there so I can start working on the buses. If I don't have my box, I won't be able to start my job.
I have told these people this up front for 3 weeks, that our stuff, his toolbox, has to be in Florida no later than the 11th, so he can start work on the 12th.
Hi, my name's Cameron. We called the moving company, Florida-based Empire Moving Group, trying to get answers, but the supervisor wouldn't answer any of my questions. But just minutes after talking to me, that same supervisor called the Johnsons, offering them a full refund and helped make arrangements for the Johnsons to pick up their stuff themselves. Now the Johnsons will be making an unexpected trip back to Indiana.
In 30 hours, I can have my stuff down here myself, but I want every dime back, period, nothing. If I do the work, they're not getting paid.
Working for you in Indianapolis, Cameron Riddle, RTV6.
Cameron, thank you. Some drivers are concerned with how the Indiana Department of Transportation is treating crumbling roads. Last week, INDOT laid down what's called chip and seal to fill cracks on State Road 234 in Hancock County. Tony Seiler says that method can kick up rocks, causing damage to cars. He also feels it's dangerous for motorcycle riders like himself.
There has been 2 occasions where I was going on a normal pavement and they were working on the chip and seal road and I hit gravel that wasn't clearly marked. And those 2 times I did hold on for dear life.
Chip and seal is a more affordable method of road repair when it comes to State Road 234 specifically. INDOT tells RTV6 it was resurfaced about 3 years ago.
At 438, whenever you ride one of those Lime or Bird scooters, the companies want you to give them a really good look over before you hop on board. That's to make sure things like the brake line has not been damaged. Charlie Elliott posted these pictures to Twitter showing the brake line on a Lime scooter here in Indianapolis had been cut. It was something he didn't notice until he was already riding it. Thankfully, he says he wasn't going too fast.
I do want to kind of commend Lime because there does appear to be an internal braking mechanism that doesn't work as good as the actual brakes, but it does slow the scooter down.
Charlie was not hurt. Lime says they will take legal action against anyone caught messing with these scooters, making them dangerous to ride.
Indianapolis public school leaders say IPS is stronger together. That was the theme of last night's first ever State of the District address. New Superintendent Alicia Johnson laid out the district's plans for growth and improvement at the event at Shortridge High School, including the push to prepare students for life after high school, no matter what path they choose.
We've earned more than $1 million to support the work we are doing in post-secondary readiness, to build a stronger connection with workforce partners, higher education, and the military, to ensure our students have opportunities and exposures to the pathways beyond K-12 before they leave us.
IPS recently held its first job fair for high school seniors.
Well, Turkey is escalating attacks in Syria against U.S. allied Kurdish fighters. Coming up, the concerns over ISIS prisoners held there.
And you might have to pay more at the post office next year. Still ahead, which prices are being raised by the U.S. Postal Service. Alyssa.
And today, a few changes coming in. We are starting with some fog this morning. More cloud coverage for your Thursday. Temperatures still climbing, though, into the low 80s in some locations. Showers and storms on the way as well. I'll break down what you need to know coming up.
For the toughest jobs on planet Earth.
Welcome back to Good Morning Indiana. It is 4:43 here on your Thursday, and this is a live look over on the west side, I-465 and I-74. You can see a little bit of that fog out there this morning. This is something Alyssa Donovan is monitoring, and it could impact your morning drive. We'll keep a close eye on it coming up.
This morning, the military offensive in northern Syria is growing. Turkey escalating its attacks on Kurdish fighters who are longtime U.S. allies that help fight ISIS. ABC's Megan Tavrizian is in New York with the latest.
This morning, Turkey escalating its attacks in Syria, launching airstrikes, firing artillery, and now a ground attack targeting Kurdish fighters, longtime allies of the U.S. This comes just days after President Trump abruptly pulled U.S. troops from the region as Turkey prepared to launch an operation to clear out Kurdish forces there. Turkey's president claiming Kurds are terrorists. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo pushing back on allegations the president gave Turkey the green light.
Yeah, well, that's just false. The United States didn't give Turkey a green light.
The Kurds have been on the front lines against ISIS, fighting alongside American forces for years. But now those fighters, once guarding ISIS prisoners, are being pulled away to reinforce the front line against Turkey. The president was pressed about the danger that ISIS prisoners could now escape.
Well, they're going to be escaping to Europe. That's where they want to go. They want to go back to their homes.
U.S. defense officials confirming 2 high-value British men accused of being involved in ISIS executions of Westerners are in U.S. military custody and moved to a secure location. The president threatening retaliation if Turkey does anything he considers off-limits.
I will wipe out his economy if that happens.
Republican Senator Lindsey Graham, a staunch ally of the president who disagrees with this troop withdrawal, says he's come up with a bipartisan agreement on severe sanctions against Turkey. Those sanctions would prohibit U.S. military sales to Turkey and target the country's leadership. Megan Tavrizian, ABC News, New York.
Here at 4:45, American Airlines says they will not fly the Boeing MAX 737 MAX planes for the rest of the year. The planes were grounded earlier this year after 2 deadly crashes, killing more than 300 people. American Airlines says it expects the planes to be approved for flight in January. Boeing thought the plane would return sooner, but more problems were discovered during testing. American Airlines also says it is working on a new policy to allow passengers to opt out of flying on the 737 MAX.
You may have to pay more money at the post office next year. The U.S. Postal Service is proposing an increase in prices to start January 26th. The price of Priority Mail Express would go up by 3.5%. Priority Mail would increase by 4.1%. Some services like basic letters and postcards will not be impacted. Postal Service officials say new rates will keep the service competitive. The Postal Regulatory Commission still needs to approve the increase. At 4:46 right now, Alyssa, what do you have behind you?
I know, it looks a little scary and spooky. This is our Salesforce Tower Cam. It's facing north right now. That's showing some of those low-level clouds and fog that we are seeing this morning, which is becoming a little bit more widespread as we head through the morning. Right now, that humidity at 100% as we see that moisture building in from the west. Right now, those temperatures in the 50s, so not nearly as cool as we were yesterday to start, about 10 degrees above those temperatures. Those winds fairly light. Those are going to stay light today, but they'll pick up tomorrow with a passing cold front. So we have those visibility issues developing right now. We are down to just a quarter mile of visibility in Indianapolis, which you could easily see on our Salesforce Tower Cam. Those temperatures or those visibilities are going to continue dropping as we head through the morning, and then by sunrise we'll start to see this fog dissipate. It's mostly around areas that have rivers and valleys, so just be aware of that as you head out for your morning commute. You might see some issues. Along with that, we'll see a little bit more cloud coverage this morning, and that will continue to build in throughout the afternoon. That's all due to this low pressure system, this cold front that's preparing to pass across the Midwest and into Indianapolis tomorrow. We could see some stray showers as early as late this evening, but most of the activity is expected throughout your Friday. Looks like that system is coming in a little bit quicker now, so we could see that a little bit earlier in your Friday rather than the afternoon, which is what I was saying earlier this week. So here we are this morning. You can see those clouds continuing to build in throughout the day. We'll still see some peaks of sunshine out there, and those temperatures are climbing quickly. You're going to notice it's a little bit more humid outside as well as the system approaches, but then by late Thursday evening, we are going to start to see that potential of a stray shower, maybe a thunderstorm for northern counties overnight tonight, with most of the activity happening tomorrow. Here's a look at our Friday rain chances. We're at 60% tomorrow morning, so expect some rain showers during your morning commute for Friday, and then we are going to see the bulk of the system moving through late Friday afternoon and evening overnight, and then it looks like it is going to clear out by Saturday. Behind this system, much cooler air is settling in. 55 degrees for Saturday's high. Our morning low expected to be right around 38, and Sunday 65 with mostly sunny skies. So we are going to warm back just to right where we should be this time of year on Sunday. Saturday is going to be a cool day, but it does look look like it's going to be a dry day as that system is speeding up a little bit as it approaches Indianapolis. Saturday and Sunday, we are looking dry, and then Monday staying dry before we start to see the chance of a spot storm again on Tuesday, but those temperatures right where they should be to start next week in the mid-60s.
All right, Alyssa, thanks so much. We're keeping a close eye on traffic this morning. Here's a live look in the downtown area where traffic's moving along up to speed. Visibility reduced just a little bit, but I don't think it'll impact your commute too much here in downtown. Let's take a look at our traffic now map. We do have a little bit of a delay reported here, likely just due to some road work on southbound I-65 on the northwest side. A 21-minute drive right now from I-865 down to I-70 at the north split. Let's take a live look outside right now to the northeast, I-465 and I-69 Benford Boulevard here on the northeast side. Traffic's moving along just fine through this area. We'll continue to monitor any crashes or delays, and we're going to keep you updated this morning.
Instagram has removed a feature that some users felt was a little stalkerish. The following tab allows people to see their friends' likes, follows, and comments. The original goal was to help people discover new content, but sometimes it gave users too much information about their friends' private Instagram activity. The company says that it has already started removing the tab, and it will have it gone by the end of the week.
At 4:50, Toys R Us is making a comeback for the holiday season with the help of Target. Toys R Us closed all of its stores after filing for bankruptcy in 2017, but this year you can buy toys through the store's website and complete the purchase through Target. You can also pick up the item from Target stores or have them delivered. The parent company of Toys R Us says this is only the beginning of a collaboration. It has plans to open new stores in Texas and New Jersey. Workers with IU Health getting a makeover coming up the fun way. They are showing their support for patients during Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
And residents being forced out of their homes at a mobile home park are getting some help from the Attorney General. New at 5, the lawsuit being filed against the park owners. But first,
I'm Vinny Politan. Coming up today on Court TV, closing arguments in Tallahassee, Florida. It's a case involving the murder of Florida State law professor Dan Markell. Prosecutors say a bitter custody battle resulted in a murder-for-hire plot. On trial is one of the alleged hitmen and his girlfriend, who used to date the victim's ex-brother-in-law. Closing arguments, then we'll be on a verdict watch today on Court TV.
Vinny, thanks. And don't forget, you can watch all the new Court TV live right on your mobile device. Just visit courttv.com. Stay tuned. We'll be right back after this break.
This is working for you.
Welcome back to Good Morning Indiana. It is 4:55 here on your Thursday, and we're taking a look at traffic here on the northwest side, and looks like everything is very quiet here at I-65 and Lafayette Road. No delays here to slow you down. We'll keep a close eye on your morning commute and keep you updated on any issues.
October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and members of the IU Health team showed their support by getting makeovers. Staff members dyed their hair pink yesterday to show support for patients and survivors like Ivy McConnell. Ivy is finishing up her cancer treatment. She says seeing people at the hospital pinked out shows they care, even if they don't know her.
There are many women out here who might not look like they're going through breast cancer, but they are. So just that support, to see the pink shirts, the pink hair, even the pink beards, it means a lot to me, because it means that they are here to spread awareness about breast cancer.
This is IU Health's second annual Pink Out Hair Day. Love it.
We should pink out our hair, all of us. That'd be fun.
I don't know how the bosses
would
would feel about that.
Yeah,
Yes,
I'd
yes.
like
Maybe
it.
we should all wear pink dresses instead of
black.
early Halloween witch costumes. Clearly, there was no coordination.
Yes, but we do want to talk about that fall-like weather we've been having this
week. And
week.
it looks a little spooky outside this morning because of all that fog that we're seeing. We're seeing that develop across central Indiana. We are down to just a quarter-mile of visibility here in Indianapolis this morning, so just be aware of that as you're heading out for your morning commute. That is going to stop being so much of an issue by about mid-morning. 79 for our high today. Partly sunny skies. Showers and storms move in tomorrow. Much cooler on Saturday, just in time for the weekend. Our highs will only be into the 50s.